12-year-old Sophia Martinez was ice skating with friends on Miller's Lake when she ventured too close to the area where underground springs kept the ice dangerously thin, causing her to crash through the frozen surface into water so cold it instantly triggered hypothermic shock. Her terrified friends watched helplessly from the shore as Sophia struggled to stay afloat in the icy water while jagged ice edges prevented her from climbing out, and the frigid temperature began shutting down her body's vital functions within minutes. But Tank, a massive Newfoundland working with the local fire department's water rescue unit, heard the emergency call and immediately recognized the life-threatening situation that required his specialized cold water rescue training. Without waiting for full team deployment or safety equipment, Tank dove into the freezing lake and used his powerful swimming abilities and natural life-saving instincts to reach Sophia before hypothermia could claim another victim in the treacherous waters that had already taken 2 lives that winter. Welcome to Saved by Tales. Before we dive into this heart-stopping story of professional water rescue training meeting winter emergency and a Newfoundland's courage creating hope when icy waters threaten to claim a young life, join our community of animal hero enthusiasts who understand that some rescues require the specialized skills that only certain breeds possess. Miller's Lake had been a popular ice skating destination for over 50 years, offering families a scenic winter recreation area when ice conditions were safe and properly monitored by local authorities. 12-year-old Sophia Martinez was an experienced skater who understood basic ice safety, but didn't know about the hidden danger zones where underground springs prevented solid ice formation. Sophia is a strong skater and usually very careful about safety. Her mother, Elena Martinez, often told other parents, she knows to stay in marked safe areas and avoid sections that look different or unsafe. Tank, a 150-pound Newfoundland served with the Metro Fire Department's specialized water rescue unit, trained specifically for cold water emergencies, where human rescuers face significant risks from hypothermia and ice conditions that made conventional rescue extremely dangerous. Tank is exceptional even among water rescue dogs, explained Fire Captain Robert Chen. His size, strength, and cold water conditioning make him our most capable responder for ice rescue situations where every second counts. The lake's ice conditions varied significantly depending on weather patterns and underground water flow, creating areas that appeared safe but couldn't support human weight safely during temperature fluctuations. Sophia's icebreak occurred in an area where recent temperature changes had weakened the ice structure, though visual inspection couldn't detect the dangerous conditions that existed beneath the snow-covered surface. Help! The ice broke. Sophia's friend Madison called desperately as she watched Sophia disappear through the jagged hole that had opened beneath her skates. The water temperature was approximately 33 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to cause immediate shock response and begin hypothermia within minutes for anyone without protective equipment or immediate rescue intervention. Tank was deployed with his handler, firefighter Sarah Walsh, when the emergency call came through dispatch reporting a child through the ice at Miller's Lake, with immediate rescue required before hypothermia became fatal. "We have a child in the water at Miller's Lake," Sarah radioed as they approached the scene. "Tank is ready for immediate water entry if needed." Tank's assessment of the ice rescue situation was immediate and professional, using senses and instincts that human rescuers couldn't match for detecting victim location and determining the safest approach through unstable ice conditions. The Newfoundland's response was immediate when he saw Sophia struggling in the water approximately 30 yards from shore, with ice chunks preventing her from finding handholds that could support her weight for self-rescue. "Tank, go," Sarah commanded as she recognized that conventional ice rescue equipment wouldn't reach Sophia quickly enough to prevent hypothermia from progressing to life-threatening stages. Tank's entry into the freezing water was controlled and purposeful, using techniques that his breed had been developing for centuries as natural water rescue specialists capable of operating in conditions that would overwhelm most other dogs. Sophia's voice was becoming weaker as cold water shock affected her ability to call for help, making Tank's systematic approach to her location critical for successful victim location and rescue coordination. Tank's approach to Sophia demonstrated the specialized capabilities that made Newfoundland's exceptional water rescue dogs, with natural buoyancy and swimming power that allowed them to support human victims in challenging conditions. "Dog coming. Good dog," Sophia gasped as Tank reached her location and immediately positioned himself to provide flotation support while maintaining both their heads above the dangerous ice-filled water. The Newfoundland's rescue training included techniques for supporting conscious victims during extended water rescue operations, using his massive body as a living raft while conserving energy for the return journey to shore. Tank's thick coat provided some protection against the freezing water, but even a conditioned water rescue dog faced hypothermia risks during prolonged exposure to near-freezing water temperatures. "Hold on to Tank," Sarah called from shore as rescue teams prepared safety lines and flotation equipment needed for safe extraction of both dog and victim from the dangerous ice conditions. Tank's journey back to shore required navigating through broken ice while supporting Sophia's weight and maintaining their position above water that could be fatal within minutes if either victim lost buoyancy or became separated. The Newfoundland's powerful swimming stroke and natural rescue instincts guided their movement toward the safest approach area where rescue teams could provide immediate assistance without creating additional ice breaks. "Almost there, Sophia," Sarah encouraged as Tank demonstrated remarkable endurance and technique during the rescue swim that tested every aspect of his specialized training. Sophia's condition was deteriorating from cold water exposure, but Tank's support prevented her from slipping beneath the surface during the critical minutes required for safe approach to rescue teams on shore. The successful approach to shore required coordination between Tank's natural abilities and human rescue equipment that could safely extract both victims from water that posed fatal risks for extended exposure. The extraction of both Sophia and Tank from Miller's Lake required immediate medical intervention for hypothermia while ensuring that both rescue dog and victim received appropriate treatment for cold water exposure. "Good boy, Tank, you did it," Sophia said weakly as rescue teams wrapped both her and Tank in warming blankets designed for hypothermia treatment. Tank remained close to Sophia throughout the initial medical treatment, providing continued comfort while emergency personnel evaluated both victims for signs of serious hypothermia or cold water injuries. Emergency medical evaluation revealed that Sophia was hypothermic but stable, with no signs of drowning or serious injury from her fall through the ice or rescue extraction from the freezing water. Tank's condition was also stable, though he required monitoring for cold water exposure effects and rest to recover from the physical demands of the rescue swim in challenging conditions. Both Sophia and Tank required treatment for mild hypothermia, but their conditions were remarkably good considering their exposure to water temperatures that could have been fatal without immediate rescue intervention. Tank's rescue probably saved Sophia's life, reported emergency physician Dr. Amanda Foster. Another few minutes in water that cold could have led to unconsciousness and drowning. Sophia's recovery was swift, with warming treatment and medical monitoring ensuring that her cold water exposure didn't create lasting complications or health problems. Tank's veterinary evaluation confirmed that his conditioning and training had prepared him well for the physical demands of cold water rescue, though he needed rest and continued monitoring. Sophia's family expressed overwhelming gratitude to Tank and the fire department's water rescue team who had responded so quickly to prevent what could have been a fatal ice accident. "Tank saved our daughter's life," Elena Martinez said during Sophia's hospital recovery. "That dog didn't hesitate to jump into freezing water to rescue someone he had never met before." The rescue strengthened community appreciation for specialized emergency response capabilities and the remarkable abilities of working dogs trained for life-threatening rescue operations. Following his successful ice rescue, Tank continued his work with the fire department's water rescue unit, with enhanced recognition of his capabilities and additional training for extreme cold water operations. The rescue also led to improved ice safety education and enhanced monitoring systems for winter recreational areas where ice conditions could pose dangers to skaters and other winter sports enthusiasts. Years later, Sophia remained grateful to Tank and often spoke about water safety and the importance of emergency preparedness. Tank had proven that some rescue equipment came with 4 paws, specialized training, and the courage to dive into freezing water when lives hung in the balance. "I still think about that winter day when a 12-year-old girl crashed through thin ice into water so cold it could kill within minutes, while her friends watched helplessly and traditional rescue methods faced time constraints that could have meant the difference between life and death. If Tank had hesitated, if he'd lacked the specialized training for cold water rescue, if he'd been anything less than a professional who understood that hypothermia shows no mercy, Sophia Martinez would have slipped beneath the surface while help remained minutes away from reaching the lake. Tank's story teaches us something profound about the specialized capabilities that certain working dogs bring to emergency situations where human rescuers face limitations that could prevent successful outcomes. This Newfoundland didn't just perform a rescue, he executed professional-level water rescue techniques in conditions that tested every aspect of his training and conditioning.